These past 2 days have been one of the best experiences I've ever had on a bike. Today is the final day of my first ever bikepacking trip during my first ever visit in the North York Moors. I've already tackled 11 climbs so far, including 33% Rosedale Chimney. I've got 2 more extremely steep climbs to do today, 33% Egton High Moor and 25% Caper Hill, which loads of the locals have told me that Caper Hill is the most difficult climb in Yorkshire. I start off today at YHA at Whitby Abbey. Good morning on a potentially very windy and wet Sunday. Due to how bad the weather forecast is this afternoon, the ride I did have planned is going to be cut in half. We're only going to do 2 even of the 4 climbs I had planned. The other 2 I had planned, by the time I get to them, the weather forecast is absolutely horrific. It's not just rain, it's very, very strong rain and lots of it. And I don't want to be waiting at a train station for a couple of hours and then be on a train for a couple of hours going home absolutely soaked. And I will be back up in the North York Moors at some other point. So those other climbs can wait until then. Let's get after it. This was my accommodation last night, which is mental. It's a bit windy this morning, but nothing major yet. Ha! I like that pirate flag, the Royal Britannia. Yesterday's ride, I actually finished stronger than I started the day. The day I didn't feel, at the beginning of the day, I didn't feel great. I felt quite weak. I was like, oh my god, this is going to be a long day. But by the end of it, I was gutted it came to an end. There was a lot more left in the tank. It seemed to be after I had my gels, the isotonic ones, and more importantly, the energy ones with caffeine in. So, learning from that, instead of waiting until later on, even before I started the ride, I've had them. Make sure the electrolytes are topped up, and the caffeine and vitamin B is in the system, and by the time we get to the first climb, be ready to rock and roll. Sunrise is trying to happen over my left shoulder, but the clouds are in the way. You can have a look. Views. Didn't catch you on camera then, but that little dip I went through there, bless, a little deer just ran through. Wasn't quick enough to catch on camera. That was cute. On an incline at the moment. I'll do steeper today, but yeah, legs feeling okay. They will just slowly tap away. Views, and also the road sign for Egton. So we are near the start of the first climb. A lot of birds flying. Oh, what's going on here? There must be over 100 of, is it crows? Up in the road, up in the sky at the moment. We're just under 2 miles away from the start of that first climb, Egton High Moor. I've descended it yesterday. The first bit is very tough, but then afterwards, it's a long climb, this one. After you get over that first mile or so, it's absolutely stunning. The descent was incredible. I absolutely loved it. The views were awesome. It's a quiet road. It is bang on. Looking forward to it. There is a 33% road sign for it. Not quite convinced it is actually 33%. Probably more 25, which is still steep. We'll find out when we get there. See what the see how it actually feels. First 33% sign of the day. And just in case you missed the warning, there's another 33% sign. Here we are, there's the steep stuff. When I'm worrying about Caper Hill, I have to remind myself, like, look at what you've already done. Climbs like this, and he was absolutely fine. So it's one of the things I try and do. When I've got doubts in my head, but I've got lots of experience of doing things which prove I can do it, do not jump that fence. Well behaved dogs. Sign for Rosedale Chimney, or sign for Rosedale. Did that yesterday. If you haven't watched yesterday's vlog, it's worth watching. So actually the hill climb race up there, and that was brutal, but a lot of fun. And a big plus, I was able to leave my panniers at the bottom with the race organisers, so I didn't have to log the panniers up there. The 22 kilogram loaded bike up a 33% climb like Rosedale Chimney. Not my idea of fun. Right, so we're at the base of Egton High Moor. The climb is just over 4 miles long. Average is 3%, but that does not tell the whole story. We got a max gradient of around 33%. It's North York Moors, so of course it's 33%. But the first mile is vertical, and then afterwards it's a doddle. And I know that because I descended it yesterday, so kind of know what I'm getting myself in for. This first bit's okay, but in a moment we're going to start going vertical. Yep, can see the 33% road sign there at the bottom. Yet again, another one. There's so many of these. Right, into the 42, and slowly tap away, lugging myself up there with a 22 kilogram loaded bike. A fairly steep start, but it's going to get steeper there. Nice little flat bit. Let the legs breathe. Don't go chasing the effort. Let the effort come to you. We're not here for a fast time. We're here just to get up it and have a fun time. On the plus side today, we've got a fairly decent tail crosswind up here. Plus I don't want to go too crazy, because the big climb, or the more difficult climb, is later. Not long after, we got Caper Hill. That sun's lovely. Honey for sale. So if you're struggling, you need some energy, you can buy yourself some honey here around the back of that house. Well, farm. This stuff's here steep. Not a bad view over my right shoulder. Yeah, this is the 33% bit. Short. Yeah! Come on! Ah! That was steep. If I remember right from the descent, that was the steepest bit. There's still steep stuff to come, but that was the major vertical bit. Whilst I can, I'm having some liquid. Some liquid carbohydrates. %. Yep, of course there is. Yep, this is okay so far, just slowly tapping away. And that's the aim, let the effort come to you. Don't go searching it, just slowly tap away. This is nice, just slowly tapping away still. Just keep repeating that message to myself. I've done that for the past 2 and a bit days now. Just keep slowly tapping away. I've had to like reprogram my brain. Not that I'm fast, but reprogram my brain, but I'm going a lot slower than I normally would. In my head, like reassess what success is on an effort. So yeah, we now got under 3 miles left. And it's gentle climbing. It's just a bit draggy and a bit long, but that's fine. Like I said, slowly tap away. radiant's about 3% at the minute. So we're over halfway done. It's getting very breezy up here now. It feels more like it's a crosswind, bit of tailwind, but it's manageable. We've been climbing now for over half an hour. Got 7 minutes left of it. So far, I've really enjoyed this time. It's been awesome. We've got 1 mile left. We are nearly there. Here we are, pretty much at the summit. This has been a great fun. I've really enjoyed it. It's, like I said, it ticks off a lot of boxes. You've got challenge, you've got scenery, you've got a quiet road, bang on. And on the whole, the road surface wasn't too bad either. Imagine once this climb goes on climbed and rated, it will score quite high. We've got to have a summit view for this. Heading over to Caper Hill now. As we go over there, we've got a lovely tailwind now. Instead of that cross tail. It's beautiful. Nice gentle push. Let the legs chill out before the madness of Caper. I'm feeling confident about Caper Hill, which many of the locals call the hardest climb in Yorkshire. And that confidence is for 2 reasons. 1, I've paced these 3 days very well, not chasing the effort and not chasing time. And 2, because I've kept on top of my nutrition and hydration, as this trip has been fueled by Science in Sport, which has been provided by British Cycling. British Cycling members get 15% off all SIS products, and if you sign up to SIS Plus Rewards, you get an extra 10% off. And you can stack the 2 discounts together to get 25% off. The link for both are in the description. Yeah, this part is going to be very draggy. Back wheel nearly went then. Descending this, I've virtually got my bum on the panniers at the back, virtually sitting on them. Here we are, we're at the bottom. Right, here we go, the final climb of the weekend, Caper Hill. Averages 14%, is just under a mile long, has a max gradient at 25%. People have said this is harder from Rosedale. It's about a 50-50 split of what people say. I have just descended it. Oh, it's not as steep, but it feels more relentless than Rosedale. Looking at it, let's see how it actually feels. And the road surface ain't great. I've seen worse, but it ain't great. Right, here's a start, we're going vertical. So when we get past that cattle grid, which we haven't got to yet, that's where it just goes nuts. Yeah, all this grass in the middle is not great. If you want to weave up it, that definitely makes it harder. Ah! Come on. Here's the start of the nut stuff. Whew. Slow progress, but slow tap away and we'll get there. Remember, the bike's loaded. It's never going to be fast or easy for that matter. Thank you.
Half a mile left. It's a bit more exposed if you get up now, so we're going to be battling the cross tailwind. It's more crosswind than tailwind. Got some stunning views though. Third of a mile left. God, this drags. But we are getting there. I think I'm over the worst of it. But it's just now the legs are fatigued. Quarter of a mile left. That's a blind summit I can see there. Ah. Right, so I start easing off now to the finish. That's just incredible. Yes! That was very, very tough. Not as steep as Rosedale Chimney, but it just drags and drags and drags. And the steeper stuff is definitely longer than Rosedale Chimney, and the road surface is a lot worse. But Rosedale Chimney is just insanely steep. If I had to, bearing in mind I did this with the panniers on and the other one I did without the panniers, but I was racing it, I'd still say Rosedale is harder, but it's close. It's very, very close. I can understand why it's a 50-50 call with the locals. Probably depends just on your riding style. Do you prefer grinding up and slogging away, or do you prefer something a bit shorter, steep, and just power yourself over it? I prefer the bit steeper, power yourself over it, get out of the way. Right, gotta take a few pictures for the gram, and then I'm gonna head off to the train station. We've got about a mile to battle into a headwind now, which high up here is fairly strong, but we're in no rush. And so far today, it's only been 18 miles, but I've done nearly 2,800 feet worth of climbing. So it's been rather punchy. But in a minute, we're gonna have 5 miles worth of descending, which I think I've earned. With how lovely it looks at the minute, barring the wind, you would never believe later on the forecast, from about 1 o'clock onwards, in about 3 hours time, it's supposed to be biblical. That van ahead is part of the coast to coast. They just said about luggage transfer for cyclists. I wish I had one of them this weekend. Would have made life a lot easier. But we're not here for an easy time, we're here for a fun time and a challenging time. I wonder how much faster I would have been without the panniers on. I still probably would have paced it kind of like how I did it, but without that extra 10 kg on the back, I don't know, maybe add an extra half mile, a mile per an hour onto my average speed. Oh, here we are. This is the descent I absolutely loved yesterday. Here we go again. If you look at the trees to my left, you can see that they're blowing a bit more than they were when I came past here earlier on the ascent. You can tell it's picking up the wind before the biblical rain arrives. Yeah, I think as much as it's the decision I don't want to make, I think I'm making the right decision calling it now. Even the wind then on that descent, just before the cattle grid, it really wanted to just wipe me out. With how exposed these moors are, and the winds is going to continue to get stronger, we're here for a fun time, not a dangerous time. then it calms. A good descent there, enjoyed that. Just a mile now to the train station and work out how I'm getting home. There's not much at this train station and I've got a couple of hours worth of waiting, so I'm going to go to the next one, the one I was at yesterday where the old steam train was. But just for good measure, we've got another 33% bit to do. There we are, 33%. That's pretty much the climbing done. It's now a mile and a half to Crossmods and it's pretty much downhill. 25% down again. Yep, back here again. Just under a 2-hour wait for the train. Could be a lot worse. Right, so we're at the station. So what have we done today? We have done 27 miles, 3,378 feet of climbing. Punchy. We've had an average heart rate of 124 with a max heart rate of 168. I think that's more just I'm getting fatigued, so my heart rate's struggling to get up. Average speed of 9 miles per hour again. Slow, but been expecting that. We've had an average power of 144 watts, normalised power of 204. Yeah, been good. Been a good ride, I've enjoyed it. Now I just want to go and find somewhere to go get changed. All changed now into normal clothes. It says some lycra. Now just gotta get home. I've booked my train to York and then carry on what I originally had planned. And I think I may actually be able to get an earlier train. Looked at the conditions. My ticket I originally booked for like after 6 o'clock. It looks like it allows me as anytime single. So it looks like I may actually get home earlier. He's having to wait for hours at York. So happy days. About to get on my second of 3 trains and the rain has started. Finally back in a very rainy and gloomy Birmingham. It's been a great weekend. I've absolutely loved it. The last 7 hours haven't been fun getting back, but that will fade in time, the memory of that long journey. The memories are on this bike ride for the past 3 days. They will live long in the memory. First venture into bike packing. It will not be the last. It's been absolutely awesome. If you've enjoyed this vlog and the past 2 vlogs of the North York Moors bike packing, don't forget to like and subscribe. There'll be loads and loads more content coming out from the trip and more trips to come. Thanks for watching and I'll see you next time up another climb on 2 wheels.